All right, here we are with a unit that came out of our furnace,
Blower.
and we got a new furnace, but then they put this one in the garage for.
So me and Papa can work on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And mainly take out the blower unit.
So what is this unit called, and what does it do?
The blower unit, aka the blower assembly, most people would know. A lot of furnaces have them. A lot of them do. Even our new heat pump unit. Actually, we'll get the front of it. This is the front of it. This is the side where the air comes in. And this is the air outtake of it. You actually can stand it up just like this. Should stay. I think it should stay. I don't know. Yeah, it will. Here's a spare set screw for it. I don't think it will stay up there. Yep. It's curved. This is a regular blower unit. And here's a crossflow blower. Crossflow blower is basically a fan that blows across things. It basically blows across. There's different things different DC powered fans. This is ECM. This is one way they DC power it through ECM. This is the ECM motor right here. This is a electronically controlled blower motor for this furnace blower. This is AC. 120 volts, 60 hertz. Basically straight off from the AC wall. The plug of it. But this is 240, I think. You get like a transformer. Sometimes they're 260, 270 volts. But this is a 240 volt blower motor. This is a different type of DC. This is actually from a computer. DC 12 volt. It's not DC 120. It's different. This is electronics and this is electronics too, but this is lower voltage than this. DC 120 volts is run off of a transformer that's pre-built inside of this blower. And a lot of these blowers, when you get them, they'll come like this. Sometimes they would just come with a motor and no wheel in the housing. Nothing like that. So the idea I had for this blower is to get an air mover going. Try and make it into an air mover. So we can have an air mover in our house. If we ever had a flood, I would stand it up like this and have it going across the floor. But for right now, I gotta get a transformer, some other stuff. And another place I saw a furnace blower like this is that bottle recycling place. They had one because they had a furnace blower, not like the exact same one. It was like from an old gas furnace, like one of those really old gas furnaces. Like, you know which one I'm talking about, gas furnaces. And honestly, I think a lot of people don't know what a crossflow blower is. I did explain it a little bit, but no. It's like this.
It's our sweet dog.
A crossflow blower. Crossflow blower is a lot different than a regular typical blower like this. A crossflow blower sits like this, or sits like this, up, or like this. Like this is a crossflow blower. This is a good prime example of a crossflow, in this one too. But basically it blows across. And honestly, this is kind of obvious. It does say crossflow fan. Crossflow fan. It's basically a blower. It's really called a blower. It's not a fan. A fan and a blower. A fan is like the ceiling fan up above. That's a regular fan. And a blower is static pressure. the static pressure from a blower is about 2 to 300 psi from a blower, because that's how strong these blowers put out. Some of these blowers don't put out as much air as a regular furnace, like this furnace blower does. Not like this. A regular furnace blower, like from a old gas one, would put out. Fun fact for you guys: these blowers spin up to about 10 to 20,000 RPMs. These blowers, the typical blowers you find in heaters and stuff, or computers, they only spin up to 1600 RPM because they don't have to produce as much as static pressures as these big fellas, these big ones, these big furnace blowers. They don't have to produce a ton of air, because sometimes you do need that ton of air to move air around in the house, or like move it through like an air vent or something, or like through a kitchen, or like an air handler. You gotta have that big high static RPM, static pressure RPM pressure, how fast it spins. You need that high RPM on these blowers, and static pressure. On a heater blower like this, it only spins up to like 2100 RPM. It's not very much, because it doesn't need that much as a static pressure, not like a furnace blower. This would probably spin up to about 1600 RPM. It doesn't need to spin up really fast like this. A traditional blower like this, or like a really old gas one, if I had one in here, those two blowers will combine. If you had this versus a gas blower, if you combine them into one fan to one blower unit, it'll probably put out 2,000 CFM per minute, cubic feet per minute. You're probably wondering why I'm not wearing gloves. I wish you would wear gloves, because, just give you a heads up, guys, if you ever decided to take out your blower in your unit and replace it, tech tip for you. This is a tech tip. Be careful with these blades. With this particular blower, I have to be very careful with the blades in here, because look, these blades are sharp, and I actually cut myself on this before. I actually did. When I was not careful, I was grabbing it like this, and my hand slipped and it cut it. You just gotta be careful. This is the reason why I have gloves around. If you're not comfortable messing with this kind of stuff like I am, call like a furnace technician. They're more than happy to replace your blower. If you feel comfortable like me, I have all the proper safety equipment, all the proper stuff I use, all the proper screwdrivers I have for this kind of stuff. Go for it. Replace the blower yourself. Or if you're not feeling like, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't know what's going on, and there's like a whole bunch of wires like this coming off on the blower, don't do it. So a lot of those wires can be live still, and you never want to get shocked. And plus, there's a control board that can shock you. I actually have it upstairs that has one big capacitor on it. It can shock you. Not literally kill you, but it can give you a pretty good amount of shock from it. But I won't recommend touching a control board. Let a furnace technician do this kind of work. The only reason I have a blower here is because it didn't work. It had a cracked heat exchanger, and we had a furnace technician come over, and he said, oh, it has a cracked heat exchanger. He pulled out the whole blower unit, and they said, oh, it has a cracked heat exchanger. Same with this one. This has an issue where it had a capacitor that exploded everywhere on the board here. Probably can't see that, but there's a capacitor that exploded everywhere on the board. That's the reason I had to take this whole unit apart and get to get to the board. Same with this one. This came out from an old computer. The reason I took the computer apart, because I have one of these fans in it. One of these like this, but miniaturized. This blower is fairly heavy. It depends how. You probably see, like, I can easily lift it one-handed. Look at this. I'm holding it one-handed. I make it look light, but it's not. It's about 20 to 30 pounds, these blowers. If you're not comfortable lifting that kind of weight from a blower motor, and yeah, that's basically it. You want to make sure, just be careful where you work, and just be careful where you grab in these blowers. Same with these are still really sharp, the blades, and these too. You just gotta be careful where you grab them. You don't want to grab them in the wrong spot and cut your finger on it like I did on here, like on this blower. And thanks for watching. Bye.